we have a mandate to do justice, and we will do it. There will be no impunity in Libya. We can answer any question you have.
Oh, sorry. Xavier Collados, Basque Public Television. I was wondering whether you could tell us how many people exactly that will be prosecuted, and then are you hoping by saying that some of those who are leading the operations should pay attention to what their army does? Are you trying to press them to somehow switch sides to those who are supporting Mr. Gaddafi nowadays? Thank you.
We normally investigate and prosecute few individuals, those most responsible. Depending on the cases, we'll see at the end of the investigation how many will present. But maybe also we present first one case and then other cases. It's also, we did something in the past. So I cannot tell you exactly how many, but it will be few, but those most responsible. On the second point, the point to mention specifically, those in charge of the forces, they have responsibilities, and knowledge is part of the responsibilities. And that's why I like to be clear with them. There are serious allegations that the troops under your command are committing crimes. If you're not stopping them or punishing them for the past crimes, you could be responsible. It's their decision now.
Geraldine Coughlin from Radio Netherlands Worldwide. Police force. So how will your investigators do their work on the ground in the Libyan situation? Will they have support from other forces, or the Arab League or the African Union?
No judge in the world has his own police or her own police. Police are not depending on judges. The ICC has the police and the armies of 115 state parties, and in this case, the Arab League, the African Union, and the Security Council unanimously support the investigation. So if the judges issue a warrant, the world will find a way to enforce them.
Thomas Verfuss, ANP, Dutch National News Agency. In the Libya situation, you have been able to wind up your preliminary.
We've been watching a news conference with Luis Moreno Ocampo, the chief prosecutor at the International Criminal Court in The Hague. He was outlining that they have been investigating allegations of peaceful demonstrators being attacked by security forces in Libya. They're looking into those findings, and they're going to present the evidence to the judges, who will then decide whether to issue arrest warrants. They're looking at events that happened in February, on the 15th of February up until the 20th of February in Libya. And he said they'd already identified some individuals with de facto responsibility who may have allegedly committed crimes, including Muammar Gaddafi and his inner circle and some of his sons. And he also put on notice some of those who are linked to him to beware that if their forces do commit crimes, that they will be held criminally responsible. So he also said there'll be no impunity in Libya. That was his warning there. Well, our correspondent Hoda Abdelhamid joins us now from the eastern Libyan city of Benghazi. So, Hoda, so quite a strong message there from Luis Moreno Ocampo.
A strong message that will actually resonate here. I mean, he did mention, as you said, Derna, Beida, and other places. Well, I have been to all those places, and I can tell you that every single person you speak to living in those places has pictures on their mobile phones of people being killed, some gruesome pictures actually that could not be aired on any television. They did wonder when accountability will be coming, and I think that is a move that will please many, certainly to those I spoke to here in the east. Now, I did hear also him saying that also the opposition will be held accountable, and that is a very fair point, because there's an awful lot of weapons in the hands of the opposition. They're not very sophisticated, but I did also hear complaints that there was some sort of revenge killings going on, certainly not as much and in the scope of the government, but I think that's also a clear message for the opposition to really try to control the amount of weapons circulating in civilian areas.
Yes, indeed, he did say that they would be impartial and look at potential crimes on both sides. Just to go back to the events of at the moment, near where you are, further airstrikes around Brega. What more can you tell us about the kind of fighting that's going on Thursday?
Well, I have to admit, we're getting a very mixed pictures, and it keeps on changing every half hour. So my assessment is this is a very fluid situation that's been going on for about 48 hours now. The Brega going back and forth between the hands of the pro-Gaddafi loyalists and the opposition forces. Now, as we understand it now, there are some clashes going on the outskirts of Brega. From what we understand, the opposition has been able to push a bit further out of the city the Gaddafi loyalists. We did also hear reports of airstrikes that were carried on earlier today, but at the moment that's the picture we're getting now.
Now, the opposition, some correspondents have described as kind of disorganised and enthusiastic and sort of lacking some of the kind of technical know-how to do the fighting. Is that your impression there, and is there anything they can do about that?
Well, I think they're scrambling to organize themselves. The National Council that was finally officially announced yesterday was the first step towards giving this opposition a political image and also making a sort of a point of contact for the world to speak to someone in this opposition. It's been a leaderless opposition all along. I think on the military side it's much more complicated. Yes, you do have commanders who have switched sides and who are trying to appeal to the people to bring back the weapons and also to let the the command of any military offensive under their direction. I think that is not working very well as far as I've seen it. I've seen bases where the military command is trying to impose its orders, and I've seen other camps where volunteers are actually sort of going in, getting a quick training and then just running off to what they call the new front, which is around Brega.
OK, thank you very much indeed. Hoda Abdelhamid live for us there in Benghazi. Some other news now. We're getting reports from the Reuters news agency that security forces in Côte d'Ivoire have shot dead at least 6 women. According to witnesses, the women were shot at as they were protesting in support of Alassane Ouattara. Fighting in Côte d'Ivoire has intensified as forces loyal to the incumbent president, Laurent Gbagbo, take on supporters of his rival, Alassane Ouattara. Well, thousands of people have been forced to leave their homes to seek refuge. Imran Khan reports.
Finally, a chance to smile and to sing for some. This is St. Ambroise Church, Abidjan. But instead of spiritual healing, it's medical healing in this makeshift refugee camp. Thousands have fled the fighting between supporters of the man the West recognises as Côte d'Ivoire's leader, Alassane Ouattara, and Laurent Gbagbo, who is clinging to power despite international condemnation. They arrive here dishevelled, tired, and in desperate need of care.
We have 2 types of people, those who only stay for a day and those that stay longer.